Hello, I'm the Cool Crone, Colleen Pearl, and welcome to my channel. For all my subscribers, welcome back. I'm so glad that you've joined me. And if you're just stopping by or you're new here, I hope you will subscribe as well. Please be sure to click that notification bell when you do so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Today's video is going to be covering fire signs for mid-April through mid-May. First, I'll pick a couple of tarot cards to do a general reading for the fire signs. Then, for each of the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, I will pull Astro Cards, an Oracle card, and I'll roll the Astro Dice. So everybody will get a reading. So, if you're a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sag, you're in the right place. Just sit back and relax, and let's get your reading. All right. Beautiful. Okay. Interesting. These cards are, two of them are the same cards as I got for the Earth Elements. Completely different deck. It's just weird. So that's the energy coming up, in this 30-day period. So the first card is, this is just general for all fire signs, is the Two of Cups. So there is some sort of an agreement, a contract, a deepening of a relationship for you from mid-April to mid-May. This can be a romantic relationship. It can be other kinds of relationships too. It could be business relationship. I mean, if you look very closely at that lion head at the top, he is the top of a caduceus. So it could be a relationship with your health, a relationship with your health provider. It could be a business relationship. So some sort of relationship is going to deepen in its respect and cooperation and union between the two, between you and the other party. The next card is the Ace of Cups. So there's a new beginning here. It could be a new relationship. It could be a baby. It could be any kind of a brand new caring, loving relationship. So if it is a romantic relationship, obvious, right? Cups, emotions, love. But if it's a business relationship, it will be one that is with somebody that you do really, really care about. Given this first card, the Two of Cups, I'm going to say that this relationship is a love relationship. The only other thing it could be is a new baby, but I'm going to say it's a love relationship. And then we have the celebration of that relationship. The Four of Wands indicates a celebration, a party, possibly, sometimes it's known as a retirement, but in this card, we see two people having a really good time. It happens to be two women. Don't know what that piece of green fabric is, if that's coming from her dress. Oh, but there's other people in the background and they are going through a hole in a wall. Interesting, because in the Rider-Waite we don't have any other walls, and in this one we do. See in the back here, see these two people? Here's a head, here's a head. This gap here, this is a hole in the wall. And if you can really, really closely see there, that is another opening in the wall. And then there's more people over here. There's another person over here. So very interesting. It looks to be that they're celebrating in a garden. There's a bower of fruit hanging down from the chuppah that is set up here. So it's some kind of a celebration like a marriage. It's not necessarily thought of as a card for marriage, but we do have the Ace of Cups and the Two of Cups. So wouldn't be surprised if there was some, not necessarily you, but there could be you in this relationship, even a new relationship, and also a marriage. You know, somebody else getting married. That could also be. Then we have the Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles is the card of supposedly generosity, but the person who is handing out these alms, these coins, this benefit, is really weighing them. He has a scale in his hand, and so he's weighing this out before he gives it to them. He's not really giving it super freely. He's really kind of measuring out what he is going to give to the poor, where he is, you know, obviously very well taken care of. Now, one of the things that I noticed through most of the decks that go with an older look to them is that red, especially red hats, indicates an educated person or a knowledgeable person. So this is a person who is making a choice. And notice that the people who are begging have no hats at all and no red on any of their person. So really interesting there that things being given away are only being given away for cause or measured out. So the first three cards speak of tremendous joy and love and celebration and wonderful things happening. And then we have this where it's almost there's an obligation to be attended to. And then the final card is the High Priestess. So there is some secrets, or there are some knowledge, or there is a woman in control, and there are things having to do with intuition or hidden knowledge that will come to light at some point, but probably not right now. So, fire signs, very, very interesting. Very interesting that you have love, cooperation, a celebration, and then duty, and then secrets. So let's see what each of the signs gets in terms of astrology cards and oracle and the dice and everything like that. So the first sign that we're going to go to is Aries. I'm going to shuffle the cards for astrology and see what comes up. Okay, let's see what your astrology cards say. Aries, second house. This Gemini, I think. Okay, and let's do your... All right. So the first astrology card that comes up is the second house for owning. Now, the second house in astrology actually is not just the money house. It is the resource and values house. So it is how you value yourself and the values that you live by. This is saying that the second house is owning. Now, most of the time I interpret the second house as the house where people get a paycheck from other people. So not if they own their own business. That would be a little bit different style of money. It would be some paycheck, but definitely the riches from their business would be shown in other places in the chart. But the paycheck that they take home is the second house. And this is saying owning, right? You own your paycheck. That's all you own of your company that you work for if you're not the owner. But it's also your values. How do you value yourself? Do you value yourself enough to allow yourself to be wealthy? Do you love yourself and acknowledge and respect yourself enough to own your own business? And is that a fair equation? You know, maybe that's not even a fair equation. But in this 30-day period, you are going to be looking at your ability to own things, your second house, your paycheck, your earnings, your values, how you respond to the world in terms of values. That's going to be very important for you, Aries, in this 30-day period. And also, here comes Venus, love. So we already know that there's some sort of love thing happening. We have the Two of Cups, the Ace of Cups, and the Four of Wands as a celebration. So we already know that love is coming into your life in a very meaningful way, in a very profound way, and that you're going to probably be starting a new relationship, a brand new relationship, rather than reigniting an older one. And we're pretty sure that it's going to be a love relationship and not a business partnership. So Venus here is just saying, yes, it's love. Go for it. Enjoy that. So Aries, hats off to you. Have a great relationship. That's wonderful. And then we have Gemini, I think. So thinking, I think, might be connected more to the Six of Pentacles, even though the Six of Pentacles are earth, right? Gemini is air. But Gemini is thinking and analyzing and figuring out what you're going to be giving back. So the Gemini, I think, is kind of analyzing what situation you're in and figuring out what you have to give back. And I still think these are weird cards to come up here, but they're coming up anyway. Okay, so let's look at the astrology cards. You also got the sign Gemini in one of your dice. You got the number 5. I'm going to put that on Venus. And you got Neptune. Now, Neptune has been in Pisces for a very long time, and it still has quite a few years to go in Pisces. But Aries, wherever Neptune is in your chart, it's going to be one house behind where your sun is, because if your sun is in Aries. Now, if you have Aries rising, then all bets are off. That Neptune right now would be in the house before your rising sign. It would be in your 12th house, which could be. But Neptune coming in here is the dreamy quality. It kind of goes along with the High Priestess, that there is a subterfuge. There are secrets. There are things that are hidden. There are things below the surface that you do not know about completely that are having an impact in your world today. So right now you may be focusing on this new relationship, and then also worrying about what you have to measure out, what you have to meet out, what you have to give back in terms of this Six of Pentacles. And Neptune is saying, let's forget about all that. Let's just think about love right now. So Neptune is also going along with Venus saying, let's just focus on love. Let's not worry about these other things. They're not fun. Love is fun. And that's where we want to go. And then we have the 5, which stands in for the 5th house. The 5th house also has to do with love affairs, has to do with games of chance. It has to do with children. It has to do with the stock market and sports and coaching kids and things like that. Just think of kids running around a ball field having a lot of fun. That's the 5th house, and you see somebody there and you have a fling. That's the 5th house. So this love affair could be just a fling, but you got Venus here. So I'm going to say that it's starting out as feeling like a fling because it's very, very romantic. But I'm not going to write it off. I'm not saying that it isn't possible that it has longevity and that it is a very serious relationship. That's a very real possibility. But the Gemini emphasis here with the Gemini card and the Gemini on the dice, this is telling me that the thinking about it, the analysis of it, the wondering about it is going to be important to you as the relationship moves on. It could also indicate that the month of June, which is the month for weddings, hello, there's a wedding here, is really, really important. Gemini happens in the season for marriage. So, it could also be sending you a message having to do with Gemini season. The 4 of Wands is clearly showing a celebration of sorts. Not necessarily a marriage. It's 2 women here, and the tarot would probably represent marriage as a man and a woman, but, we can think outside the box. Maybe this is a wedding. So think about that. So there's a lot of stuff going on here, a lot of Gemini stuff going on. All right, and now let's look at your oracle card. Battle of the Blues. Take steps towards positive change. So I'm going to say, Aries, that you have been coming out of a difficult period where you were a little under the weather. I won't say depressed, but under the weather, and kind of worried whether you were going to succeed. And I'm thinking that you were lonely and you were looking for a relationship. And now that a relationship is coming forward for you, you're probably not going to worry about this so much. However, don't let self-doubt creep in. You are an emotional being, a very impulsive emotional being as an Aries. And so, when you're good, things are very good. And when things are not good, they may feel very not good. And so don't give in to that. That's what this is about. Don't allow yourself to really drop into despair just because you're spending 15 minutes away from your new love because they had to go, make a phone call or go to the bathroom or change their shoes or whatever. Don't just fall into the depths of despair because they're not glued to you 24/7. Be realistic. I know I'm talking to an Aries. I know that's ridiculous and you can't be realistic. But try for me, okay? Just try. Okay, Aries, that's your reading. And now we're going to go on to Leo. Whoop, 3 cards wanted to come. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I can take that many, but I'll take them. You know what? Anything that happens during a reading is a part of the reading, so I'm taking it. Okay, Leo. Now, yeah, we got 5 Astro cards. My goodness, I hope this doesn't take too long. Okay, the first card is Aquarius, your opposite sign. That means it's in the house of partnership if you're a Leo rising. So, bada bing, you got a relationship going. Now, this one is air element, communicating. Aquarius is an air element, so that's very interesting there. And 10th house, the world. Move these over a little bit. Virgo, I analyze. And the final card is Capricorn, I use. All right, some of the same cards we've had with some of your sister signs. So the first card, Aquarius, I know. So as I said, this is if you're a Leo rising, this is falling in your 7th house for partnerships. And if you're falling in love and you're starting a new relationship, this makes sense. Your partner is falling under the auspices of Aquarius. Chances are that you may have some planets in Aquarius in that house, and that planet probably represents or is similar to your partner. So this is just backing up the fact that you are having a relationship that is probably going to be fairly serious and long-lasting. So congratulations, Leo. I think that's great. I didn't do the dice. Let me roll the dice. Ah. South Node. The sign Aquarius. And you got the card for Aquarius and 4 for the 4th house. Okay. Then we have the air element, communicating. So even though the cups are strong in this reading, you did get the air element. And I think that just has to do with the fact that your Aquarius 7th house is an air sign. So again, super important that you have communication in a relationship. Also just bolstering the idea that your partner is a communicator. And if we go back to the tarot card, your partner and you really have great support, respect, and union, cooperation with each other. And that's another attribute of the air signs as opposed to the fire signs. So really, really nice for you, Leo. Okay, then we have the 10th house, the world. So how is this new relationship going to affect you? Well, you know, the person that marries you, unless you're like a politician or something, is not marrying your career. You know, your career is still your career, and that's your legacy, and that's what you're putting out to the world. However, we do have the High Priestess here, and there could be something hidden, or either an occult issue or a secret, or just some knowledge that is being hidden that will come out later, and that knowledge may help you with your career, with your 10th house. But it's coming out later. It's not during this time frame. And then we have Virgo, analyze. So you are going to be analyzing what's going on. Is this a real relationship? Is this relationship really something that I want to have long-term in my life? You know, I'm thinking that this wedding thing is not your wedding, but is maybe a wedding that you attend with your new partner. Often going to big affairs like weddings is kind of a litmus test for relationships, because you see how they behave under these circumstances, and it shows a different side of them. And then we have the 6 of Pentacles, which I think is really relating to the Virgo card. Virgo is analyzing. This guy is analyzing. He's weighing. He's measuring. Measuring is a Virgo event, right? He's weighing, you know, how much does he give out as far as the alms? And that's the kind of thing that Virgo does. They don't love it, but it's the kind of thing that they do. When they're looking for how to, you know, dole out charity, they have to analyze who needs it most, where will it do the most good, etc. And so that's what your Virgo energy here is doing. And then we have Capricorn, I use. And Capricorn is relating back to the 10th house world. So you're very focused on your, let me put the Capricorn card in front. You're very focused on your career. And sometimes when people couple up with really the right person and they know that this is my life partner, sometimes it helps them understand how to approach their career, and it also gives them motivation to really succeed at their career because they want to provide for a family, for a future family. So I think that's what these cards are all about. They're telling me that this relationship that you're going into, Leo, is a very important relationship for you. It's really meant to be, and it's a really good partner at this time. So embrace that and really look at it. Now, in the dice, we have the emphasis of Aquarius from the dice, so I'm not going to repeat that. That's just talking about your partner. And the fourth house is talking about your actual house, your real estate that your house is on. So, you know, eventually, probably you and your partner are going to want to buy a house and make a home together. That's also the fourth house. What kind of a home do you make with your domestic partner? But the South Node is something else. So the South Node talks about where you feel drained. And in your chart, you will have a North Node and a South Node. The North Node is what you're supposed to achieve in this lifetime. The South Node is what you have achieved in previous lifetimes and where you may feel very, very comfortable. So if you stay too long in that comfort zone, you get drained. So my advice to you, Leo, is to look at your life pre-relationship. Analyze, use your Virgo here, analyze the life before the relationship and look back and see, where was I drained? What drained me in my previous life? And now what's the opposite of that? And what can I do to go forward in my life with my new partner and achieve what it is that I really want to achieve? That also goes along with that 10th house, with the Capricorn, and with the air element communicating, because I think with, let's see, if you have Leo rising, then let's see, what are you going to have? Leo. So we're going to have So you may have either Aries or Taurus as a rising, or Gemini. You could even have Gemini as a midheaven. And so you're looking at, you know, how do you make all this happen? What's the legacy? What do you leave behind? And your North Node, you know, I don't know where your South Node is. I don't know where your North Node is. I'm just telling you what the function of it is. So you probably need a good astrologer. And I know this is just a shameless plug for me to do your charts. But knowing where the nodes are for you is really important if you're feeling some sort of stress over what to do with your life and how your life is going. Because if you're in that cycle of being drained by your South Node, it's a really simple thing to just eliminate the activity in the South Node and focus on the North Node. So that's just enough said. That's kind of out there. And now let's go on to your Oracle card, Leo, which is New Beginnings, Begin Your Life. Now, you do have definitely a new, fairly serious relationship starting. And this is saying this is a new beginning. Go live your life. So get rid of the draining stuff, go forward to the stimulating, exciting, explore and fulfill your potential stuff, and enjoy this new relationship. I'm really happy for you, Leo. That's really fantastic. So that's the reading, Leo. So now we're going to go on to Sagittarius. Now we're doing Sagittarius, the last of our fire signs. And this reading is really, there's a little bit of strangeness to it. I do think that these cards are kind of off on their own, and these cards all seem to kind of go together, but we will see with the addition of the astrology cards, the oracle card, and the Astro Dice, we will see if this doesn't kind of make more sense once we get through it. I hope you like all my rocks out here, all my crystals and rocks. They really make me feel good when I'm doing the readings. So we're going to do out, and this one wants to come out. Okay. There's our astrology cards. So, Sagittarius, we have Neptune, sacrifice. Capricorn, I can't tell you how many times today this card has come out. It's very interesting. And the first house, body. It's only the second time this one has come out. Okay. And we will shake the dice. Okay, we have Cancer. 5 for the 5th house. Oops, it's a little hard to see there. And Venus. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to shuffle up those oracle cards. Okay. All right. All right. Neptune, sacrifice. So what this tells me, Sag, is that this new relationship will require a sacrifice of some kind. That in some way you will need to give a little more than you get. And that may be why we see this card with the tarot. That it's not that you are the poor person on the floor. You are the person giving out the alms. And you may find some sort of lesson in this measuring of the alms. Remember, he has a scale in his hand and he's measuring things and weighing things before he gives them away. You may find yourself in a similar predicament where you have to weigh or measure or calculate or analyze things before you actually give them up. And this may be in terms of your money or your time or your children or something. But there's a sacrifice of some kind involved in being in this relationship. And then we have Capricorn, I use. Now, Capricorn is usually the energy of one trying to make their mark, being ambitious, climbing the ladder, doing something for a very long time and getting some sort of credit or money or boon for doing it. I'm not quite sure how this fits in with all of these cards, but I do think that it fits in very well with the High Priestess. So with the High Priestess, you have secrets, occult things, hidden knowledge, things that can't be seen right now. And so there is a legacy here. There's a long game, a long-term planning here where eventually this information will come out. And Capricorn always plays the long game. So Sagittarius, what I'm thinking is that, you're an impulsive fire sign. You would like to see things yesterday. You would like to have things happen just as you think them, make it happen. But in this instance with the relationship and the self-sacrifice and the High Priestess and even the giving of the alms, there may be a point in your life where you really have to put the brakes on, where you really have to figure out how to measure it out, how to make it work for you. And actually, that might be the sacrifice that you have to make, is that you cannot go with your gut, with your impulse, with all of that. And I know I've known a lot of Sages in my life, and as they age, they very frequently have to deal with difficult life circumstances that mellow them, that pull back on that impulsiveness. And so other aspects of their personality come to the fore. They become more philosophical. They become more the sage. They become more the person who doesn't need to be at a party all the time, but rather welcomes the chance to be by themselves and to contemplate or meditate or spend time in prayer. So there's a different side, Sagittarius, of you that is developing through this. And self-sacrifice may very quickly turn into one of self-fulfillment, where you are finding answers in your meditations that you could never find by going out to a party. And rather than having to feel like say your sacrifice is staying home to take care of somebody who's sick, right? You may very quickly find that time spent waiting for them to awaken from, whatever, gives you time to contemplate and explore your inner world. And that may be really revealing and enlightening for you, and you may really love that, because Sag is the philosopher. They're the sage. They're the ones who like the mysteries of the universe. And then we have the first house, the body. Now, Sag always loves to use their body in a physical way. And one of the things that you may be doing here in this new relationship, really enjoying your own body, because, you know, in new relationships, honeymoon, yada, 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 you get the drift. So Sagittarius, you're enjoying this relationship for what it is, and the cards and the dice are telling you that there may be something a little more somber in the future having to do with this relationship, but that doesn't mean stop the relationship. That doesn't mean don't have the relationship. It just means, yeah, maybe a relationship that lasts a very long time, and ultimately you may have to sacrifice something for it. Cancer is coming up. Cancer has to do with our home. And you may be building a home with your new partner. That may be exactly what all of this is about, is that you're going to make a home with this new partner. Venus is there saying that this is love. This is a really good relationship. This is something that is you've waited for, and this will be very beneficial to you because it is love. Venus is love. And then we have one which relates to the first house, again, the body. So this is all saying that this is you being revealed to yourself through your relationship. It's kind of a spiritual awakening with that relationship. That's very exciting for you, Sagittarius. And I think that that revealment of your own spiritual awakening may be what the High Priestess was waiting to tell you all along. So in your case, in these cards, you weave in the High Priestess with all the other cards that's going on. It's a little bit different for the other fire signs, but you definitely are going to be grabbing the energy from that High Priestess and appreciating it sooner rather than later. Now let's look at your Oracle card. Very cool reading, Sag. Now let's look at your Oracle card. Oh, Sag, you're going to love this. This is a great card for you. Go with the flow. Let things happen. Beautiful. She's just riding that wave on the fish. I love it. And even though you're not a water sign, Sag, I know that you can really relate to this card. One of my favorite Sagittarians is a friend of mine who's an avid surfer. I don't know if he still surfs, but man, the pictures he used to put up on Facebook were just amazing. The places that he went to surf and the waves that he saw, just beautiful. I love the water. I love the ocean, so I loved that. Okay, Sag, so that looks like that's a really amazing reading for you. I hope you really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to seeing your comments down below. Let me know what you thought about this reading, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks. So that's the reading for the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sag. I hope you enjoyed them. Please leave me a comment or two down below and let me know what you thought about the reading. And if you'd like a personal reading, my contact information should be showing on the screen right now. I hope that you will also give us a thumbs up. That's very important for the channel, and share when you can. And I hope that it's a good reading for you. With all that being said, I'm going to say see you next time.